Hey, this is Brett Tabke. We're back here again at SES San Jose in August 2009, and joining us Mr. Eric Enge of Stone Temple Consulting. Eric's a longtime stalwart of the SEO community. This week, the big talk has been Google's new Caffeine engine that they released. What's your take on it, right up top?
You know, we've done a lot of testing on that. I've actually checked out half a dozen sites myself and their terms and things that, we know that they rank for. And other people within Stone Temple have done additional checking. So we have not seen like a drastic change in the way things are ranking. A little bit of movement, but nothing fundamental. I mean, my suspicion is, because of course our approach is very clean in terms of how we do our SEO, my suspicion is that we've seen kind of a drift upwards a little bit. So there's probably other people who have had a larger impact from it.
Right.
But the other thing you notice is it's faster. And it's funny, you wouldn't think the change from 1/4 of a second to 1/8 of a second would matter so much to people. But it does. And I feel it,
Yeah.
And so it's pretty interesting.
Well, that was one thing I always harped on WebmasterWorld was speed, speed, speed. And it's not so much speed today, because we all have faster boxes, and if your site isn't instantaneous, you're in trouble anyway. But
right.
Man, Google just is pushing the envelope on speed, even against all the big websites. So.
Well, I mean, you think about it. It's like they're pushing the envelope at speed. I think I did the math once. They're handling 4,500 queries per second on a global basis, which and it's on a global basis. So some of them are coming from Thailand and China and all over the place, and they manage that process to deliver something. In 1/8 of a second now.
Right. We were both up to Seattle recently when they launched Bing search engine, Microsoft. We had a little bit of time now, a little bit of breather. We got the new deal with Yahoo. What's your take on Yahoo, Microsoft in the future, the impact on the industry?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I think the handwriting with Yahoo has been on the wall for a while. I think it's, a few months back, I remember some Yahoo VP coming out and saying, we're not really trying to beat Google, we're just offering a service to people coming to our websites. And that positioning was already pretty telling. That was okay, they've checked out. It's sort of the reaction that you get from that. But as for Bing and Yahoo, well, it's going to be a while. Regulatory could take a while, and then implementation could take a while. I mean, it could be 2 years before you really see it. But on the other hand, it reflects Microsoft's stance. I mean, they may be the little dog in the 3-horse race trying to become the second dog, but they're just going to do whatever it takes. And if you look back in history, I mean, there was a point in time where people said, Microsoft will never touch Oracle.
Right.
Okay, and people, Oracle had such a commanding lead.
Right.
Well, guess who's #1 now? Right. So they were wrong about that. And by the way, some of the people who worked on that are over on the Bing team.
Right.
So they've got people who know how to do this, and I think they're relishing the underdog role. I really do. Yeah,
they are. We saw it up there in Seattle, definitely. They like their position. It's a good place for Microsoft to be in when they get committed to something.
Right. The world's largest hoard of cash and underdog. Put those two together.
Right.
That's a pretty interesting position to be in.
Well, that hoard isn't as big as it used to be.
No, that's true.
At the same time, we're kind of positive this fall Windows 7 is going to launch. So I'm pretty optimistic about that as well. So
yeah.
Well, we have run out of YouTube time here, I guess you would call it. So appreciate you for taking the time.
Sure thing. Thank you, Brett.
We'll be back.